So good morning. I haven't uploaded in 2 days, and the reason why is because I made another settlement in Fallout, this time in a place called Starlight Drive-In. So here's a garden, one half of it. I have another small garden over there, but we'll get to that. This is a small shack that doubles as that functions as a doctor's office. So this settler here, if I have any addictions that I want cured, or I have radiation poisoning, I can undo the addiction and cure the radiation poisoning for a small fee. And in the back of this doctor shack, here's a lab where, I can craft medicine, drugs, or grenades. Now, in contrast to Red Rocket, there's just one bathtub and one toilet in each of these four shacks, so no more taking a bath together. So anybody who prefers to take a bath alone should move to here instead of staying at Red Rocket. This one is a general store as well as a bar, and if you go to the second floor, you can buy weapons from this fellow right here in the pilot's helmet. And this drawer here is in theory where you would store all the weapons and ammo. And I also put a few more small details in this one compared to Red Rocket. So the pool table here actually now has pool balls and billiard cues. And privacy still isn't a main priority, but there's far more personal space, and there's actual beds now instead of just mattresses. And the lab the lab that's behind the doctor's office used to be here, but I moved the lab there since it makes more sense, and I decided to put two beds on here instead. And I really feel sorry for the two people who sleep here because they're sleeping next to a pretty loud generator. It's actually pretty loud. I just toned down the volume for this video. And this is where I can put all the Bubbleheads that I collect in the world. I mean, they don't weigh anything, but there's just something about having a collection waiting for you at home. Makes it feel more homey, and when you get a Bubblehead, you're just excited to go home and put it on here for display. And in this shack is where I can upgrade or modify my armor. In this shack over here, or actually it's almost like a house actually, I use that term loosely. This is where I can upgrade or modify my weapons. And this is now the introverts hangout. Since Red Rocket is pretty small and compact, I decided to put the introverts hangout over here. Makes more sense in my opinion. So the most introverted member of Red Rocket should maybe choose to move here instead, since they can have their peace and quiet here. And to be honest, if this shack didn't have so many holes, this would have been the perfect place to hotbox. I'm just saying. And over here is 3 beds and 2 drawers, so there's 3 beds for 3 people, and they can use these 2 drawers here. And this is the second half of the garden, and since this place is bigger, I can actually have house pets now. So this is called a Brahmin, and the radiation gave it 2 heads, and I find it kind of creepy that it's following me. So yeah, and this is the workshop, which, like in Red Rocket, without this, none of this would have been possible. And instead of manual pumps, I still have 2 pumps over there, as you can see here, but they're not the main thing that gives this settlement water. It's now this thing here in this pool of water. Before I installed this, this water used to be pretty dangerous, so just standing in it would give you a lot of radiation per second. But ever since I installed this, I don't really get radiation anymore, unless I drink from it. But I don't really drink from it unless I actually have nothing else that with which I can gain my HP back. In theory, this basketball court is the entertainment of this settlement alongside pool, but the main entertainment venue is basketball in theory. Unfortunately, you can't tell the settlers to just pick up the basketball and start playing. But in theory, after long hard days of work, you can just sit on the bench and watch people play basketball. It's obviously too small for the traditional 5v5 like you see in the NBA and in FIBA, but from what I've heard, street basketball is 3v3, so 6 people on both teams combined on this one is actually sounds pretty reasonable. So yeah, that's what I've been doing the past few days, just making a second settlement in Fallout, which since it's less cramped than Red Rocket, I actually prefer. All in all, I'm proud of this one. I hope you guys are too. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. If you didn't, leave a dislike. The dislike button's right there. It's a free country. You can do whatever you want. So see you when I see you, and goodbye.